All right, speaking of that's about it. This is it. This is our final game here, and it's a big one. I think it's big noon on Fox on Saturday with Gus and Joel. It's Ohio State and Penn State. We've got Ohio State 4-point road favorites in Happy Valley, 47 the total. Now, this did open 3.5. It's gone up to 4, and the reason for that is the quarterback concerns hanging over Penn State going into this game. Drew Aller left the game against Wisconsin with that injury, and Bo Pribula took over, and he actually played all right, but he might have to start. James Franklin already saying we don't know if we're going to have Drew available for this game, Drew Aller. So it could be Pribula. They might even give Ethan Grunkemeyer, the other quarterback, a little bit of a look too. Apparently they're both going to practice this week. But what a time for Drew Aller to get an injury pop up with this game here against Ohio State. I was surprised Ohio State struggled as much as they did with Nebraska, but you do have to give credit to Nebraska. That being said, we're starting to see as the schedule is getting a little tougher here for Ohio State, Oregon, Nebraska, 0-2 against the spread. Is this team really great? Or now are they, as the schedule toughens up now, are they going to meet their match here a little bit, Ohio State? I am still in the camp where until I see James Franklin step up and win a big game and beat an Ohio State or a Michigan, who he's never beaten since he's been in the Big Ten here with Penn State, I ain't backing Penn State. And even less do I want Penn State now with Aller's status in doubt on Saturday. It would be Ohio State or nothing for me. Look, I'm not going to overthink it. 7 straight wins for Ohio State over Penn State. Now, Penn State's covered a lot of them, but a lot of them, too, in some of them, they were double-digit underdogs. Last year, Ohio State at home was a 4-point favorite. They won by 8. And it's not Penn State at night. This is Penn State early in the day, noon Eastern, this kickoff. Yeah, I've got to see it before I believe it, and I've got to see it before I bet it that James Franklin can step up and beat Ohio State. It's really that simple. CMAC, I actually lean to the under here if Drew Aller doesn't play, because Ohio State and Will Howard, the Nebraska game, they got bottled up. Penn State still got a pretty good defense to make it difficult on Howard and Jeremiah Smith and the run game with Judkins and Henderson. And meanwhile, you can't expect Penn State with their offense, especially if Aller doesn't play, to march the ball up and down the field. So I would lean under here. Like I said, I don't know if I'll bet the side at -4, but it's Buckeyes or nothing. Like I said, I've got to see it before I believe it and bet it with James Franklin and Penn State beating this Ohio State team, which they never do. CMAC, what do you think?
Yeah, I can, Penn State do what Nebraska did a little bit and just, chug out first downs, time possession. That was big in that game. They had it 35-24. Can they do that? And the one thing, that's why I didn't want Ohio State against Oregon, Will Howard in these bigger games. But I'd be on Ohio State. I just think they're better here. And Franklin, we talk about every year, he can't get it done. Now, he's covered a few, some backdoor of those ones the last few years where they've been 18-16. The number's been pretty big. But what do we get now?
Only one.
No Aller.
I just want to step in. Only one of those last 7 wins that Ohio State's beaten Penn State 7 in a row. Only one of those wins was by less than 4 points. 6 of the 7
less than 4
by more than 4. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then all the drama with Aller here, whether he's going to play, everything I've already heard last night and this morning, it's game time decision. So just watch that. And Penn State's still a very good football team. Play should be going crazy, but it's a lot to put on if Aller's not going to start in this game. So I think it's Ohio State. They've already lost Havana. You don't want to drop that. And Franklin, this has just been his kryptonite a little bit. He can't win the big one. So I like Ohio State here a little bit.
Yeah, maybe a little more desperation for Ohio State. You don't want that second loss. Meanwhile, Penn State hasn't lost yet. So if they lose the first one, they're not totally out of it. But nevertheless, yeah, you want to be able to get the and by the way, they're an awesome run defense. And that's the concern. Even if Aller does play, it's not like the
even if he
lighting it up for Penn State. And if they can't run with Katron Allen and Singleton, if those two guys can't get going running the ball, which is not going to be easy against Ohio State. They've stopped the run pretty well all year. That's not going to make it easy on Penn State's offense. Let's put it that way. I don't think that any dimensions of their quarterback are good enough to maybe win the game through the air. We'll have to wait.
And last week, Nebraska kind of balled up Junkies and Henderson.
Yep.
Only just 25 and 29. They both had 10 carries. So, can Penn State, their defense, kind of do that here? Should be good. But, right here, my lean is Ohio State in this game.
Yeah, I'm in that same boat too, just because, look, until to be the man, you got to beat the man. And James Franklin is not
Ric Flair quote there.
Yeah, Ohio State's not beating Ohio State. 6 of the 7 Ohio State wins have been by more than this point spread against Penn State. 6 of the 7. So that's why it's impossible for me to take Penn State here until I see it. All right, great stuff. Awesome show as always. We love doing these shows every Monday. College football hitting the books, all the weeknight games, many of the marquee weekend games as well on Saturday. Hit the like button, everyone watching on YouTube, and to those of you watching on the other platforms, we appreciate it as well. And yes, we will be rolling out a college basketball part-time schedule. 1 or 2 shows a week just to begin the season, and then we'll get more into daily shows or at least several days a week once we get into January after football season. But we will have some college basketball, and certainly we're probably going to do for sure a show every Friday where we can talk about the big Saturday games. We'll definitely be doing that in the starting in November, so be on the lookout for that. Thank you to everyone for tuning in. For Connor Mack, I am Ian Cameron. Enjoy the week ahead in college football. Enjoy the games and good luck. And this has been another edition of Hitting the Books, the college football betting show. We'll be back next Monday, same time, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, for another edition of Hitting the Books. Until then, class dismissed.